Hi there, it's Drew here with a video of Literature Explained. In this series of videos, I'm going to help you understand great works of British literature. In today's video, we're going to be looking at some of the riddles from The Hobbit. The Hobbit was written by J.R.R. Tolkien, who is a famous British author that was born in 1892. He's best known for his high fantasy literature, including The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I'm sure you've already heard of. J.R.R. Tolkien was a professor at Oxford University, and he had a passion for languages and mythology. His works have had a massive influence on modern literature and fantasy. J.R.R. Tolkien's book, The Hobbit, was written in 1937, and it tells the story of a character called Bilbo Baggins, who goes on lots of different adventures with wizards and dwarfs, and there's even a dragon. This book is well known for its imaginative storytelling, richly developed world, and themes of bravery and personal growth. In this book, Bilbo meets a creature called Gollum in a cave. Gollum and Bilbo have a competition where they have to solve each other's riddles. And those riddles are what we're going to focus on in this video. But what is a riddle, I hear you ask? Let's check out the definition. A riddle is a type of question or puzzle that requires thought and creativity to solve. Riddles often describe something in a confusing way, challenging you to figure out what is being described. Before we get onto the riddles which are in The Hobbit, I'm going to give you a simple example. Hopefully you can figure out the answer. Ready? Here we go. I speak without a mouth, and I travel through the air. Shout in a cave, and I'll answer you there. What am I? The answer to this riddle is echo. Echoes don't have a mouth, and echoes travel through the air. If you're in a cave and you shout loudly, you'll hear your voice reflected back off the wall as an echo. Hopefully you managed to get that one. The riddles are going to get a little bit more difficult as we go along, so keep up. In today's video, I'm going to go through all of the riddles one by one, and I want you to guess the answer. These riddles are quite challenging, even for native English speakers. So to help you out, I'm going to give you the answers to begin with, and you just have to match the correct answer to the correct riddle. Here they are. Good luck with the matching. Let's get started. Let's have a look at the first riddle. What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees. Up, up it goes, yet never it grows. The answer for this one is a mountain. Let's have a look at the details of this riddle to help you understand. First of all, this riddle uses imagery. You have the image of the roots in the earth and the image of something that is taller than trees. So this helps you to imagine something like a mountain. The riddle also has a metaphor. It uses the idea of roots to describe the base of the mountain, which you can't see because it's under the ground, like the roots of a tree. There's also some contrast in this riddle where it talks about the great height of the mountain, but also its stillness because it's not growing. All of these things help you to figure out the answer to this riddle, mountains. Let's go on to the second riddle, and for this one, there's two words that we need to check together. The first word is flutters. Flutters describes something that moves quickly and lightly. It's often used to describe something that is flying or waving. The second word we need to check is mutters. This describes speaking in a low or unclear way, often talking about a whisper. Now that you've checked the meaning of these two words, flutter and mutter, let's have a listen to the second riddle. Voiceless it cries, wingless flutters, toothless bites, mouthless mutters. This one is a little bit tricky. You have to imagine something that doesn't have a voice, but it does make a sound. Something that doesn't have wings, but it does flutter. Something that doesn't have teeth, but bites. The answer for this one is wind. Let's check some of the details in this riddle to help you understand it more fully. First of all, we've got some alliteration, which is a repeated sound. Voiceless, wingless, mouthless. In these words, we repeat the L and the S sound lots. This feature makes the riddle sound more musical. The next feature is personification, which is when we describe something like a person. In this riddle, the wind is described as being like a person, something that cries, something that mutters, something that bites. Let's have a look at the third riddle now. It cannot be seen, it cannot be felt, cannot be heard, cannot be smelt. It lies behind stars and under hills, and empty holes it fills. It comes first and follows after, ends life, kills laughter. What do you think the answer is for this one? Hopefully you got this one and it's dark. This riddle uses the senses to help you understand the answer. You can't see it, or touch it, or smell it, or feel it. There's also some imagery in this riddle as it describes the darkness as being everywhere, under a hill, behind the stars, and filling holes. For the next riddle, there's two more words that we need to check again. The first one is mail, which is a type of armor like this picture here. The next word we need to check is clinking. Clinking describes a light ringing sound. For example, when two pieces of metal or two pieces of glass touch each other. Clink. Let's listen to this riddle. Try to guess the answer. Alive without breath, as cold as death. Never thirsty, ever drinking. All in mail, never clinking. Which answer do you think this is? Of course, this one is fish. Again, we've got lots of imagery in this riddle to help you imagine the idea of a fish. First of all, we've got as cold as death, because fish are cold to the touch. And then we've got the metaphor of the mail armor, which is describing the scales of the fish because they look very similar. For the next riddle, we've got quite a few vocabulary items to check. Let's go through them together. The first one is to devour. This means to eat something quickly and completely. Next, we've got gnaw with a silent G sound, gnaw. This is to chew something lots and lots. Sometimes dogs gnaw on bones, for example. The next word is to grind, which means to crush something into very small pieces. The next word is very simple, the verb to slay, which simply means to kill. Then we've got the verb to ruin, which means to destroy or to heavily damage something. We often use this word also as a noun when we're talking about the ruins of something. So in the UK, there are lots of castles which have been damaged or destroyed, and we call them ruins. And finally, we've got the phrase to beat something down, which means to destroy something by continuously hitting it. You've checked the vocabulary for this riddle, so let's have a look at it and see if you can guess the answer. This thing all things devours. Birds, beasts, trees, flowers. Gnaws iron, bites steel, grinds hard stone to meal. Slays kings, ruins towns, and beats high mountains down. This one is time. Did you get that one? Let's check some of the features for this riddle. Again, we've got the feature of personification, describing something as human. In this riddle, time is described as having human qualities. It bites, it gnaws, it grinds. We've also got imagery in this riddle where we're encouraged to imagine lots of different things that time can destroy. It slays kings, it ruins towns. Let's move on to the next riddle. Again, we've got two words that we need to check together. The first word is champ. This word describes a way of eating which is very noisy and full of lots of energy. Champ, 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 champ. The next word is stamp as a verb, not a noun. The verb stamp means to raise your foot up and bring it down heavily, making a sound. Boom. Got it? Let's check the next riddle then. 30 white horses on a red hill. First they champ, then they stamp, then they stand still. Did you get this one? It's teeth. This riddle uses imagery to help you guess the answer. We've got the words champ and stamp and then standing still. This is trying to create the image in your head of someone eating. Champ, stamp, and then stopping eating by standing still. There's also a bit of alliteration, which is the repeated sound, especially the s sound. Stamp, stand still. There's also the metaphor for teeth, which is 40 white horses on a red hill. So the white horses are represented as the white teeth, and the red hill is the gums. Hopefully, you're getting a bit better at imagining the images in your mind now. For the next video, I'm going to help you out quite a lot by checking the meaning of daisy. A daisy is a type of flower. They're very common in the UK. An eye in a blue face saw an eye in a green face. That eye is like to this eye, said the first eye, but in low place, not in high place. Hopefully you managed to get the answer that it is the sun and a daisy. This riddle of the sun and the daisy uses lots of imagery. You're supposed to imagine the idea of the eye in the sky, the blue place, and then the daisy in the field in the green place. Hopefully your imagination helped you get this answer. Let's have a look now at the next riddle. This is a very famous old-fashioned riddle that's been adapted a little bit for The Hobbit. Maybe you've got this one in your own language as well. Have a listen. No legs lay on one leg. 2 legs sat near on 3 legs. 4 legs got some. This one really is an imaginative challenge. The answer is a fish sitting on a table with a person sat nearby on a stool and a cat that ends up eating a bit of the fish. A bit like in this picture. In this riddle, it uses metaphors to describe the everyday items of a fish, a table, a person, a stool, and a cat. They're all described in the same way, talking about the number of legs that they have. Describing the items in this way uses language like a puzzle for you to figure out. For the final riddle, there's just one more vocabulary item for us to check together, and that is hinge. A hinge is a movable object that allows a door to open or a box to close. Let's have a look at this final riddle now. If you've been paying attention, you've probably already guessed the answer. A box without hinges, key or a lid, yet golden treasure inside is hid. Obviously, this one is an egg. In this riddle, the egg is described metaphorically as a box. The golden treasure represents the yolk of the egg inside. That's it for all of the riddles in today's video which feature in The Hobbit. I hope you enjoyed listening to them. I hope you managed to guess some of the correct answers. Let me know how you did in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to study online lessons with me about similar content, remember to check out my website, britchatclub.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye!